Junkies!
Perfect segue to talking about Loki the show, which debuts every Wednesday, every week on Disney+. We are up to episode 2 now.
Oh, by the way, it's a little bit long. We're going to shorten this eventually. There will be spoilers.
There will be. If you didn't take an hour out of your day today, and don't give me that crap, I had to work, blah, blah, blah. I had to work today, too.
You watched it on your lunch break.
I didn't watch it on my lunch break. Yep. I woke up early in the morning. I didn't have to leave the house till 7:50 today.
Dida was like, look.
I was up at 5:50 watching it. I have a tablet. It was in the bed next to me. I was like, I don't feel like getting out of the bed, go downstairs. I pull it off on my tablet, head on the pillow, and I watched it. I don't want to hear no crap.
For a second, I thought you was about to say I was in the shower and the tablet
was
mounted up.
I believe this thing right here.
I'm going to watch this, damn it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. It's like people are,
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
I'm like, I understand people have lives and whatnot, and if you have certain patterns and all that stuff in your life, the thing is, you can carve out a certain amount of time. I went to bed early. I said, you know what? I'm going to bed early so I can wake up.
Wake up early.
And though it's expectations, unexpectations. You got kids, you got dogs, you got hot dogs, whatever you got.
Yeah.
Make that time to watch it.
Okay. No, you're absolutely right.
Let's go.
Yeah. So let's talk about Loki. The first 2 episodes have premiered. It debuted. It was the highest premiere for any Disney Plus show ever. And seeing as how it has a short history, that probably wasn't very hard. But given the Mandalorian's popularity, it is still quite impressive. So,
yes,
Tom Hiddleston being back as Loki. Owen Wilson as Agent Mobius.
Which is a great name.
Great name. A great name, but the chemistry between the two of them has been phenomenal.
Great.
Gentlemen,
yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about Loki. What has been your impressions of the series thus far?
Well, if you want me to go first,
please go ahead.
We're in green. Go ahead.
Green means go.
Yeah, I greatly enjoyed it. I felt like
Thanks for the bits.
Appreciate
there. It.
I felt like the first episode was and like some people felt that Falcon and the Winter Soldier was like the best first episode. I really liked Loki, not just because it didn't have any action in it. It was all basically exposition. It was getting people caught up. And that's one of the reasons why I did like it. Out of all the shows, it felt like it's the first one that looks like it's going to progress the MCU. All the rest of them are tying up loose ends from the past. What do you call
movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one is moving forward because not only are they got this Loki, he's finding out why he's there, because what they think is going on. It's tying up those loose ends, but also beginning new ones, because we know the stuff they talk about with the Nexus in line. They talked about Wanda and the Nexus and her being a Nexus person, whatever the hell they call it.
Yep.
And you know the names of the new Doctor Strange movie. You know the freaking Kang the Conqueror is going to be in the new Ant-Man movie. And this having to do with different timelines and time travel and all that other stuff. The little comic book knowledge that I know knows that these people are in there. So it's the first one that's progressing, moving forward. Mm-hmm. And that is what excited me the most about it. I'm like sitting on pins and needles the last episode, like, oh, you can't end the episode right here. Oh, you guys ended the episode right here. Oh no. And I was like, oh, I gotta wait till next week to see what's gonna happen. And some of the stuff that they did, man, my goodness.
How many episodes did they have slated for this? Because they're
6.
Okay, so
it was 6, I think.
All right, so it's going to be a 6-hour movie, basically. The Iguana Man of the chat said Loki had the biggest build-up ever since we saw him teleport in Endgame and wonder what would happen next.
We were like, where'd he go? What's going on?
Everybody knew that was a plot thread that was going to get picked up later.
Okay.
But we
they
also have the thing for Loki that we know that these shows are going to be good. People are going to show up because we've already had 2 shows that have just like knocked it out of the park.
Yep.
So now they're like, oh shit, here's the third one. If those other 2 are great, let's go and let's bring people with. Right. So he there's a little bit of advantage there, but I'm just glad it's getting kind of clamor.
Well, not even just that though. It's Tom Hiddleston, man. The dude's got charisma. He's got charisma coming out of his ears, and it's just like as soon as he got cast as Loki, because again, for those that don't know, he was originally up for the role of Thor, or he auditioned for it anyway, and then obviously Hemsworth walked in at 6'4" and 300 pounds, and it was like. Well, actually, not 300 at the time, but he was
and he was naturally blonde.
Right,
and he was naturally blonde.
And Hiddleston like killed it.
I mean, Tom got jacked for it though, but
he did. But come on now, a Greek god walked in the room from Australia. Was like, hey,
Indeed.
you know. So no, but Hiddleston, like I said, Hiddleston does an amazing job. He chews up every scene that he's in, and you love just watching the dude be him. I like the fact that even though it seems like he's quote unquote playing second fiddle, you know that there's another through line because he's Loki. It's like it doesn't matter how quote unquote submissive he may seem to Owen the Nose Wilson. Loki is always going to be just freaking one step ahead of somebody, and it works. I like it. So I'm enjoying every moment of it, and I want to see where they go with the next 4 episodes because hour-long is perfect.
I honestly really think that this format was good for this show. Obviously, I enjoy watching Tom as Loki. I know some people, I think, like, you know, it's like even some people I follow, like, kind of like feel a little, you know, whatever about the show, because one thing you got to know about the MCU is that they always leave breadcrumbs to where that you can just essentially just infer things happening, like in the meantime and whatnot. And this show is doing the exact same thing, because the first episode, when you're starting to see the scale of how everything is coming about, like from the time Tom gets to Loki, by the time he goes to the TVA, by the time he essentially learns his fate in the actual timeline. And it's like, dude, once they got to that part when he went for the Tesseract and they opened that drawer, I was like, ooh, so this is where we going up on the food chain now.
Yep.
So it's just has a lot of building blocks, and we kind of knew that like the scale was gonna be astronomical at this point, because you know we're getting Eternals later this year. We already saw Wanda become the Scarlet Witch, who is a Nexus character herself.
Yep.
So, and this is kind of like the next step of that. By the time we lead into Eternals and Doctor Strange next March. So it's really just it's kind of leaving people salivating, just wondering like, okay, how is this going to play in a larger scheme of things? Because and more than likely, it's like my speculation, I feel like the timekeeper thing may be a red herring and wind up being like some kind of other kind of situation going on. But one thing that is for certain, that this is a Nexus point. They've kind of already confirmed that. So I'm in.
Yeah. and especially what happened with the events of today's episode that came out.
I was really happy that they did what they did with today's episode, though, because when I was watching the beginning, I had a feeling I thought it was going to go like the Lucifer route, where he's just going to be a character that helps them solve crimes, and I was just like, I'm so glad they didn't do that.
Well, I mean, you have to think about it. They only have 6 episodes. They don't have time to turn this into a procedural.
Like, what you call it? Gorman says there's going to be a second season.
Yeah, confirmed second season. It's already in development.
So that's why I was thinking,
wow.
I'm glad they did.
Gotta love it.
Well, no, I mean, but what they did in this episode, obviously, if it is allowed to stand, because the whole thing with the TVA and the timelines, they fix the timelines before they hit the red line. And as they explained, if it hits the red line, it can no longer be reset. It is permanent. Like, they can't change it. So what happened in today's episode with the multiple branching timelines, and I was watching this with my daughter today, and I was like, if you consider the sacred timeline as just one timeline and there is no multiverse, this is like literally the creation of it.
Yep.
This is literally the creation of it. It's like if all of those branches hit the red line, multiverse is created, and that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're not going to be able to stop.
They're not going to be able to stop it. Yeah, because it's like it's too many points. They can't keep up. You know. So, and I think that's part of the whole thing. That was something that I thought was really exciting at the end. Go ahead, Fallon.
You know, this is like one thing that that just made me think about that too, and it reminded me of one of my favorite comic book series by Marvel,
Exiles.
The Exiles.
Exiles was great,
and it kind of makes me think like, dude, like, could this potentially like just be like an Exiles thing to pop off like later down the road, because this is something that's up their alley, where they essentially try to go to different timelines to keep them from collapsing on itself and whatnot, and of course different takes of all the characters that we know on top of it. So it's, man,
dude, I would tune in on an Exile show every week. I think that would be a phenomenal thing to do.
Well, I mean, again, like Economan said, everything's on the table. The good thing about Marvel and by proxy Disney is they're putting this big playground out there and they're playing. They're not, they're making smart moves is probably the best way to say it. Because, like you said, you've gone from WandaVision to Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and Winter Soldier, to Loki, and every single one has been a success.
Yeah.
And every single one is setting up new stuff down the pipeline. And it's just, that's the best way to do it. And I give them all the props on that. It's like they're playing the long game.
And another good thing is, I guess, is that for us, and this is kind of selfish to say this, but the news came out today. The news comes out today that Disney Plus is moving all of their new show premieres to Wednesday. So that means because our show is on Wednesday, we get to talk about them and give our impressions live every single week. No need to wait 3 days, 3, 4, 5 days.
Well,
we can give it to you right away.
Knowing that means for y'all in the audience, y'all better be up on your game.
Absolutely, because we gonna have that spoiler alert ready and waiting to fire.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed that clip. Make sure you check out our live content on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/culturejunkies. We also have a lot of content available on YouTube, unboxings as well as Blu-ray reviews. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/culturejunkies. And on top of all of that, if you go to culturejunkies.net, you can check out our merch store. The link is culturejunkies.net/merch. There's a lot of great merchandise there. So there's links and logos and stuff all around me. So check those out, and we will see you next time.